The devil all the time. I think it's safe to say that this is the closest we're ever gonna get to DC versus Marvel. I mean, we have the Winter Soldier and Spider-Man, and we also have Batman, so it's kind of 2 versus 1, I guess. I have so many titles for this video, like The Devil All the Time, the closest we're ever gonna get to DC versus Marvel, or Spider-Man Went Dark. Is this like Civil War Part 2, the Winter Soldier getting revenge for Spider-Man beating him up at the airport, but then again, Spider-Man won again. So I guess Spider-Man 2, the Winter Soldier 0, or Marvel 1, this is 0. I don't know, man. I don't know if it was just me, but this movie, it was hilarious to watch. This movie has a lot of big names, a lot of people that have done like really big characters like Spider-Man, Pennywise, Batman. Batman is not out yet, but you know what I mean. So there's so many people with this like giant names. So like watching the movie with like 8 people that I already know them from these big ass roles, it was just hilarious. I couldn't take it seriously, to be honest. I also want to apologize in advance because I know that I'm probably gonna do this and it might be annoying to some people, but I'm probably gonna be referring to a lot of the characters by, instead of saying Arvin, I'll probably say Spider-Man. Sorry, it's just that honestly I didn't really bother to learn the names of the characters, and because while I was watching it I just kept referring to every single character as, you know, Spider-Man, Bucky, Pennywise. I kept referring to them like that, so I'm sorry if it's really annoying. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sofia. I make, I guess, movie, TV show rants, reviews, commentary, whatever you want to call it. If you enjoy those type of content, maybe you want to consider to subscribe. Maybe you also want to follow me on my social media. I am so glad that this movie came out. This movie came out at the right time because I'm procrastinating the fact that I have to watch After We Collide. Is that even the name of the movie? I'm procrastinating because I hate After. So I'm only gonna watch the second movie just to make a video, but I'm just procrastinating. I was supposed to watch it last weekend. I didn't. I'm supposed to watch it this weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. And I'm also procrastinating the fact that I have to make a video about Baby, but because the season 3 just came out and I just can't bring myself to watch season 2 and season 3 because I don't like the show, but I also want to make a video about it, so I'm just kind of debating myself, and I just fell down the road of rewatching Stranger Things. Oh boy, okay. So this movie just came out at the right time. Thank you, Netflix. You did at least something right for me. The Devil All the Time. Set in between Ohio and West Virginia. Honestly, I don't even know how to summarize the movie. I wrote down crazy dudes because the movie is just a bunch of crazy people. So I think that's my description of the movie, crazy people. That's a spoiler-free part of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna say that I love seeing all these actors, especially Tom Holland and, well, not really Sebastian because I've seen almost his entire IMDb. I got a little too obsessed when I watched Marvel for the first time in quarantine, so I did watch almost his entire IMDb. It's really nice to see Tom and I guess everybody to do something completely different than Spider-Man, you know, because Spider-Man is a character, or Peter Parker, I guess, is a really happy kid, I guess. It's really, you know, positive, and then I'm pretty sure his name is Arvin. It's just a completely different character when, you know, so much depth and darkness around him. I don't know, it's completely different. So it was really nice to see Tom doing something outside Marvel, you know, something that is just polar opposites. That was really refreshing, I guess. So the movie is set between Ohio and West Virginia, in these two towns that I can't for the love of myself remember their names. I remember one of them, which is Stiff, and I think that's the one where the story kind of begins when Pennywise, I don't remember his name. So the story begins with him. He's a veteran and he's kind of suffering for, like, I guess, post-war situation, PTSD, I guess, set right after the World War II. They're a small town, so they're really religious. Everybody's really religious. Religion plays, or at least church, plays a big part in this movie, just so you know. So everything starts, I guess, when Spiderman one time he gets home and he has like a black eye, and Pennywise teaches him that he has to stand up for himself. So Pennywise's way to show him that he has to stand up for himself was to literally beat a guy up in front of him. Hello, trauma. This is where Spider-Man's trauma begins. Like, things can only go worse. Pennywise's wife was in the floor and I was like, oh, she's dead. She's not dead, she got cancer. Pennywise, he built a cross right outside their house, and kind of like to pray. They would go there and pray. He thought that God was asking him for a sacrifice to save his wife. So he kills a dog, trauma number 2. Then she dies eventually. I remember specifically Spider-Man, he's in his bed and he's saying like, I'm gonna tell him I'm not gonna pray anymore, I'm not gonna pray anymore. So when he goes to the prayer thingy, he found his dad and he's like kind of moving him, telling him like, I'm not gonna pray anymore. When he rolls his dad, he sees the knife and his dad killed himself. Trauma number 4. So while all of that is happening, the other town where Pennywise grew up, we have the preacher, which is fucking Dudley from Harry Potter. Dude, oh my gosh. I couldn't not laugh every time I saw Dudley. It was just so funny. So Dudley is a preacher. He kind of gives inspirational, like, motivations type of stuff about fear, and he specifically says that he is afraid of spiders. So he, in the middle of the mass, he has a jar of spiders that he pours over his whole body, and he gets like a bite from a spider, which led him to kind of not go out anymore. And he was like praying to God for like something, for like to enlighten himself. He takes his wife on a ride with his sidekick Theodore, which to this day I don't know what was the point of Theodore. They go on a ride and he literally kills his wife, and then he's like trying to resurrect her. He's like praying to God to resurrect her, and obviously she doesn't resurrect, you dumbass. So he literally killed his wife while they have a daughter when Pennywise parents. So then he goes on a highway where he meets Carl and Sandy, which they are serial killers. So they go on drives down the highways to pick up strangers and then kill them. So they see Dudley, they pick him up to kind of give him a ride, and then like they pull over. They do their own thing and kill him, and so that's kind of like how it goes. Spider-Man, when he does kill himself, he goes off to live with his grandparents and Dudley's daughter, which eventually they grew up on and they treat each other like siblings. I think we could say 10 years passed. I don't know exactly how many years, but now we're in the 60s. I'm pretty sure Spider-Man is around 17, 18 kind of. And his sister, Lenora, that's her name. She's also Beth from Little Women, so I'm probably gonna call her Beth throughout the video. They have a sibling relationship. He stands up for her, she gets bullied, and just like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, he beats the guys up. There's a new preacher in town, which is Robert Pattison, which is Batman, Cedric Diggory, Edward Cullen himself. I wanna say, I couldn't take him seriously either. Every time he would open his mouth, every time he would say delusion, die a little bit. Also, I want to mention that I'm always impressed by his voice. Whenever I see him talking, whether it is like on interviews or acting, it's almost like he has a different voice every time. Like my mind never processes his voice for some reason. I don't know what goes on my mind. Like, so when he is introduced, the town does kind of like a party, like a welcoming party. Spider-Man's grandparents, they don't really have a lot of money, so they cannot afford real meat, so they buy chicken liver. Yum. And Cedric Diggory is, you know, trying out every single food, and then he tries the chicken liver and he basically shames them in front of everybody, saying like he was gonna eat it, so no one had to eat it. They all go to church, but Beth is a very big believer. She will go to a graveyard a lot, pray for her mom. She prays also for her dad, Dudley, because she doesn't believe that he's dead. So she is constantly praying on them and praying that he's gonna come back. One of those times she's talking to Batman. Batman is a freaking and he starts to groom her, and he eventually does her. And I'm pretty sure that happens multiple times. We never get to actually see anything, but we do get to, they're in a car, like he is trying to persuade her into her, you know, taking her clothes up. And I'm gonna say this because this is really, really funny to me. He's trying to tell her by taking off her clothes in front of him, like because he's a preacher, she was gonna get closer to God. The funniest part for me is that she says, "Do you mean my birthday suit?" From now on, I would only refer to naked and nudes as my birthday suit. She eventually gets pregnant, and she is telling him that, you know, that obviously is his because she hasn't had sex with anybody. So she's telling, they're having that conversation, and he's literally gaslighting her and just telling her like, no, that can't be possible. You're telling me this at the presence of God. And he basically tells her that she's gonna have to find a way to get rid of it, aka an abortion, or kill herself, or she's gonna be known in the town as a whore mother. What she decides to do is to hang herself. Right at the last minute, she regrets doing it, so she's trying to loose the knot, and while she's doing that, she accidentally hits the box where she's standing on, which led her to ultimately kill herself. Throughout the whole movie, Spider-Man has had like his own like doubts, like, you know, he has been suspicious about things going on in the town, and just, you know, that nobody is a good person, no one is, like, he has already been thinking that everybody is some kind of evil, and he already had his thoughts about the preacher, but he, you know, he couldn't exactly do anything about it. So his sister killing herself was kind of like the last straw, and he started like, you know, paying attention at, you know, the preachers. So here we have Spider-Man versus Batman, your Marvel versus DC that you all want. That's what we got it. He goes into the church with a gun, which that gun was his dad, Pennywise's gun, that he got from somebody, that it was allegedly the gun that Hitler used to kill himself. Just a little family heritage stuff, I guess. Batman doesn't even realize that it's him, you know, that is Beth, that is him, the brother. Or, in a way, kind of manipulating him, stalling him into, you know, kind of confess, I guess. You know, Batman like turns around and he realizes that it's Spider-Man, and he realizes that Spider-Man found out what happened. So he's trying to defend himself, like a fucking prick, giant jerk. You know, Spider-Man is with the gun, he's pointed at him, and like he's trying to shoot him, and for a minute I really thought that Spider-Man wasn't gonna shoot him, that wasn't gonna have the guts. I was like, there's no way that Spider-Man is not gonna beat Batman. I was really concerned, but then at the last minute, like he actually got the hang of it, and he shot Batman like 3 times. So Marvel 1, DC 0. I totally forgot to mention Bucky. He is the sheriff. I think he's running for mayor or something like that. There's a talk about elections, so I'm pretty sure he's running for mayor or something. So he's a sheriff of the town where Spider-Man grew up. He is also the brother of Sandy, which she is Carl's wife, and together they're serial killers. They're the ones that killed Dudley. By the way, I had to like write down every single person that died and who killed them because it was hard for me to kind of keep up. The person that he's running against to is trying to use his sister has him being incompetent for, I don't know, being mayor or something. So he's trying to like have a conversation with his sister, kind of like to stop because it's affecting his image. But he doesn't really know that she is a serial killer. But he definitely has his, I guess, you know, sketchiness towards Carl. After Spider-Man kills Batman, he goes into the highway and guess who finds him? Carl and Sandy. So they think that they found a new victim, but guess what? So when they do the whole thing, you know, pulling up, and Spider-Man quickly realizes that he has a gun. Right at that time, he is on guard. He grabs his gun and he's on guard, trying to like, you know, be alert at all times of what is happening. During that time, Sandy was already planning to kind of stop being partners with Carl. She was trying to build up the courage to go against Carl, but long story short, Spider-Man kills Carl. And then he kills Sandy. He didn't want to kill Sandy, but Sandy was pointing a gun at him. Little did she know that she didn't have any bullets in it because Carl took out the bullets and filled it with blanks because he already knew or sensed that she has cooperative, like he kind of sensed that there was something off in her, so he didn't want her to also have a gun. So he filled it up with blanks. So Spider-Man didn't want to shoot her, but he didn't know that the gun didn't have any bullets, so he shot her accidentally, I guess you could say. So here's the thing with Carl. So when that thing happened, when that whole thing happened, I lost my mind several times because before they pick up Spider-Man, they showed a scene. Bucky goes into his house and Bucky kills him. But then, so I was like, oh, Bucky kills him. But no, he was alive because he picked up Spider-Man and Spider-Man then kills him. And they cut into him being alive, which I was like, wait, what the fuck? But then what happened was that Bucky killing him was like a nightmare, so it was something that never really happened. But Spider-Man did in fact kill him. That was something that messed my mind up. So Spider-Man, I don't remember how, but he gets back to his town, to his old town where he grew up, aka where Bucky is the sheriff of. He finds out that his sister died. He obviously didn't know that Spider-Man did it until the sheriff from the other town told him about Batman dying and the description of Spider-Man, and telling him that he potentially also killed his sisters Sandy and Carl. Obviously Bucky already knew Spider-Man because he was with Spider-Man when his dad died. So if you're a Marvel fan, you probably know this, but there's this kind of fake feud, obviously it's just a joke, between Anthony Mackie, aka the Falcon, Sebastian Stan, Bucky, and Tom Holland, where Sebastian and Anthony hate on Tom and constantly call him like an ass or something, which is just a joke, obviously. I don't know how people actually take that seriously, but I find it really funny because now it's the only people that are alive, it's Bucky and Spider-Man. So this whole scene when Bucky with that giant rifle, I think it's a rifle, I don't know guns, I don't like guns, so obviously I'm not educated on what type of weapon. Bucky with that giant rifle and Spider-Man with that mini gun, and they're both kind of hiding because obviously Bucky wants to kill him because he killed his sister. So it's just really funny because it brought me back to, you know, watching those interviews of Infinity War and Civil War press tour where they keep saying stuff like that about hating Tom. So it was really funny that Sebastian was literally with a gun trying to chase Tom Holland. That was hilarious. So obviously Spider-Man kills him, but before that he was trying to explain to Bucky that he didn't want to kill his sister and that all the people that he killed was because they weren't good people, trying to kind of justify himself and kind of in a way of a vigilante kind of stuff. of like, I only did it because they were bad people. Say whatever you want, Spider-Man, you're still a serial killer. But anyway, I learned in Criminal Minds that when you kill at least 3 people, you're considered a serial killer. So it's a civil war again. Spider-Man, a fucking teenager, beating up a soldier. Right at the moment we found out that he left kind of like photos, or maybe was it like a note on the bodies. He left one on Batman's body and also on Bucky's body, kind of in a way for like to say that he did it because he had to do it, because they were bad people. Like, he didn't want to do it, but he had to. And the movie ends with him asking for a lift and going to Cincinnati, I guess, for a fresh start. That's how the movie ends. My thoughts on the overall movie: it was really good, it was really interesting. I was not bored at any point, like I was always entertained. I don't know if that was because, again, like I knew almost every single actor, so every time an actor would go screen, I was like, oh my god, that's Pennywise. So I would just, it was just really funny. I don't know, maybe it was just me though. I really love Dudley's acting. I've never seen Dudley outside Harry Potter, so obviously it was kind of like whoa, because I've never seen him outside that, so it was really interesting. I will say Spider-Man, all he needs was therapy. His dad literally assaulted a person right in front of his eyes when he was like 8 years old. His dad killed his dog when Tom was literally at the next room, and then his mom died, and then his dad kills himself, and he finds his dad dead right there, like, and then his sister died. All that was left was for his grandparents to also die, but I'm so glad that they didn't. I'm gonna take this as Spider-Man being the best superhero, or like the strongest superhero. He took down Batman and Bucky and 2 fucking serial killers. So that's my hot take on the movie, I guess. Carl literally died twice by 2 Marvel superheroes. I will say that how much time happened between the killings, like between Tom killed Batman and him killing Carl and Sandy and then Bucky, like how much time happened over there? Was it just hours? Was it days? Or maybe even a week? Like, I don't really know how much. Maybe I didn't pay attention, but it seemed like everything happened so fast. So seeing that all these people were in the movie, I expected nothing but greatness. So I'm really happy that that's what I got. I think I'm gonna leave the video right here because it's getting really dark. Like, can you believe that Spider-Man killed everybody? Like that, his body count, it's literally 1, 2, 3, 4 people, and out of those 4 people, 2 of them were superheroes. Damn, dude, Spider-Man really went dark. From friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to, dude, Spider-Man 300 fucking serial killer, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, and what happens to Spider-Man, he just simply moved to Cincinnati. That's all that happens to him. There's a constant narrator in the movie. I'm not used to narrators like on movies and stuff. I generally don't like them because I feel like they have to give some kind of a purpose. I really like the narrator in this movie because it kind of explains the reasons behind people doing what they did. Like, for example, Carl, the reason why he killed people, why he had that urge to kill, was because him killing was the way he felt the presence of God. So I really like the narrator because it gave you like that extra information for you to like maybe not empathize for the characters, but like to understand the characters like situations, I guess. Oh boy, I really need to learn how to do like a movie reaction, movie commentary while I'm watching the movie, because I think it would have been way funnier. Anyway, this is all for the video. Let me know down below your thoughts about the movie. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Again, I want to apologize if it was really annoying, the fact that I kept calling everybody by anything but their character's name. I just didn't bother to learn their name, so I hope that wasn't too annoying. But if it was, then well, you watched the video anyway, so I guess I win. Consider to subscribe and follow me on my social media, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!